Welcome to the Armani Talks YouTube channel. I'm your host, Armani Talks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills in order to help you improve your way with words. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to join me for future videos by hitting that subscribe button, bell notification right on below, and let's share today's talk, which is my number one tip for introverted entrepreneurs. Since starting Armani Talks, I've had the opportunity to work with a variety of different individuals which predominantly deal within three different groups. One group are people that are first immigrating to the United States of America and they want to work more on their communication skills. The second group are engineers who want to take a very technical message and deliver it to a group of audience that can understand the technicalities. And the third group are the introverted entrepreneurs who are very, very imaginative. But unfortunately, they struggle with putting themselves out there, either online or offline. Today's talk is going to be for the third group, the introverted entrepreneurs who have great ideas, but are currently holding themselves back. I want you to understand the number one tip, which is going to change your paradigm. You may view your life as a movie, but others view it as a sitcom. Now, this little tip is going to make much more sense later on throughout today's talk. I'm going to build myself up to it. What I want you to understand is that volume is king. Something about volume for different people, individuals don't like it. They're like, well, quality beats quantity any time of the day. But how do you think someone gets quality in the first place? Prior to new media, the media which is built on the internet, a lot of the successful people that we've seen, we haven't really seen their process. We saw the final output, but we necessarily didn't see the process that allowed them to build up to that output. Years and years behind the scenes were required in order to produce that quality. Therefore, quantity is the predecessor to quality. Volume is something that's extremely important. Roughly around 11th grade, there was a period when I had a math class where I was in the IB program. So already this program had very limited people, and I was the only guy in my math class. And there were 7 girl students, and the teacher was a girl as well. Well, one class period, right before summer was about to start, I wanted to show how cool I was. I wasn't going to sit in the chair. I was going to sit on top of the desk. Just, laid back, just to show that I'm very informal. So I'm sitting on it, and there's a few of the girls that are gathered around me as we're speaking. They're standing, I'm sitting on the desk. As I'm sitting on it, I start to notice something feels a little off. I'm like, what's going on? And very subtly, I start to notice that one of the stands are sliding just very, very gently. I didn't think much of it in the beginning, but as I continued to become more astute about what was going on, that little stand on the desk was starting to slide more and more and more, faster and faster and faster. And I started to realize, oh no, the desk is about to break. Soon as I make that realization, the stool officially snaps off and the desk that I'm sitting on breaks. And I fall in one of the most embarrassing ways you can imagine. I'm trying to hold myself up for some balance. So as I'm falling, I'm basically trying to grab onto air. And all these people are looking at me as I'm falling in this very embarrassing way. Eventually, I hit the ground. My butt is hurting, and from the corner of my eye, I even see my teacher laughing nonstop. And she's one of the nicest teachers. So for her to be laughing was extremely embarrassing. But to add insult to injury, now the girls were like trying to help me up. And I just looked so helpless. I was just thinking, man, they're not gonna let me live this one down. They're gonna be sharing this story with all the other people in the other classes, and it's just going to be so embarrassing. But then there was good news. Wait a minute. Today is the last day before summer starts. So I'm sure most of these people are going to forget what just happened. And that they did. The summer started, a few months went on by, and as we restarted our class, I came to realize that most of these people that were seeing me fall forgot. They didn't even think about bringing it up. And if they did bring it up, now I had ammunition on them. How pathetic was your summer that you remember me falling? It took you months and months of you just pondering on that, remembering. It's you that I should be laughing at right now. But none of the girls remembered. And it just went on to show how short-term people are in regards to our mistakes. There was a period when Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Family Guy, he was asked, would you rather keep creating movies or do you like creating sitcoms, like the television shows? He's an extremely prolific creator. I like to call him the Elon Musk of the creative world because not too many creators have created a movie and short little 30-minute sitcom shows, but he's done both. And the revelation that he gave was very stunning, to say the least. He said that with a movie, you gotta be very, very precise because it's taking you months and months, a very high budget, all these different moving parts coming together to create the movie. And if it's not a box office hit, you're gonna be getting a whole bunch of criticism for a very long period of time. That's the whole mentality in regards to the movie. But for the sitcoms, the little 30-minute shows, the Family Guy episodes, you're able to experiment more. You're capable of making more small mistakes, and you don't have to sweat it too much for the long run because there's just going to be another episode next week and the week after that. While with a movie, it's something that happens every 1 to 2 years. So with this mentality, Seth MacFarlane said that he was able to relax more. And that's when I started to realize that a lot of the introverted entrepreneurs that I worked with, in the beginning stages, they had this movie mentality where they're like, I'm just gonna have this opportunity once a year, maybe once every 4 years. And that level of pressure was what was causing them to get so nervous in the first place. Because they had a very limited mindset in regards to creation on the internet and creation as a whole regarding opportunities. And this created more fear and more hesitancy in terms of putting yourself out there. But as we started to work together, the more that they uploaded their YouTube videos, their podcast episodes, the more that they asked different people to come onto their show, the more that they dealt with rejections firsthand and kept going regardless, the more that their mindset shifted from this once in a while movie into a sitcom. Another opportunity is coming next week, and the week after that, and the week after that. So it's not as though that being an introvert is a problem. It's not that being an extrovert is a problem. In reality, you don't want to classify yourself as introverted or extroverted. You always want to be ambiverted. And I'm going to link my video for the ambivert right on here if you're watching from phone and laptop, or in the description box. Otherwise, just type in ambivert Armani talks. It's not as though that introvert or extrovert is the problem. It's more so the tendency to view life as a movie where, from our own perspective, we should be viewing it as a movie, yes, but others are mainly evaluating us through the lens of a sitcom. Others are more forgiving in regards to mistakes than you can possibly imagine, especially with the internet where there's so much content that's out there. And the more that you can understand that the internet has infinite levels of content and it's just getting started, the more that you start to be that same person who broke that desk, and rather than thinking that school starts the next day, you acknowledge that there's this huge summer that's going to be occupying before your classmates see you again. So the ultimate lesson regarding the story is that you gotta change your mindset regarding how others view you. It's not as though they're viewing you as a movie where every now and then you're going to have that opportunity. It's more so that they're already busy with their lives, so they're not really thinking about you that much. But when they are thinking about you, it's more so in connection with the sitcom mindset. The only way that we can understand this on a first experiential base is to have volume. We got to keep creating the opportunities for ourselves. Otherwise, we're just going to be stuck like this. We're going to be very, very afraid of experimentation, afraid of creativity, and afraid to be bold. Quantity is a form of quality all on its own. And it is quantity that eventually leads to quality because your subconscious mind is gathering all the data, it's eliminating wasted movements, and from there, what most of the people from our past generations, we didn't see the process. In this generation, we get to witness firsthand as long as you put yourself out there. Be an introverted entrepreneur no more, just be an entrepreneur. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit that like for me right on below, and you share this video to your other fellow introverted entrepreneur friends, and you help them graduate from movie mind to sitcom mind firsthand. Thank you for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel, and I will catch you on the next episode.